Hey guys, and welcome to a new Dungeon Defenders 2 video. I'm your host Mr. Peter, and let's beat Prime 3 Power Surge. In this incursion there's a map rule. Towers remain for 25 seconds once placed, so if I place my flamethrower down it should disappear after 20 seconds. You can see this rule on the left hand side of the screen. Fun backstory, during the time when primes were new, I wrote a thread in the DD2 forum expressing my concern about this incursion, saying this could potentially be the hardest prime we could possibly encounter. With the map rule and tanky enemies, theoretically, this should be extremely difficult to do. Weeks later, Prime 3 became available and I gave it a go, and honestly, it's not as bad as I thought it would be. For new defenders it may seem hard, don't get me wrong, it's very challenging, but with the right strategy, it's possible to complete it. It's definitely easier with friends, everyone can defend a lane each. However, if you're a solo player like me, it's going to be very challenging. Before we talk about the strategy, there are two requirements for this prime. Number 1, have a fully built monk. Having a fully built monk will help you on wave clearing and killing bosses. Ideally you want a hero to put their defenses down and to have enough health to survive against assassins. Number 2, have a pet that has Sparkle Party. Sparkle Party will dazzle nearby enemies for 1000% magical hero damage and stunning for 5 seconds. This will stun assassins when they try to attack you. You'll definitely need this as you don't want to die in this incursion. Now let's talk about the strategy. We'll be using the Dryas tree. This is the safest option. I know I said earlier every blockade and towers disappear, however, what the devs have done is that they made this tree immune to the map rule. You can keep this tree for as long as you like. Having the tree is optional, however it is the safest option and can make this prime a lot easier. There may be a scenario where you do die, having the trees will buy you enough time to return. You don't need anything fancy, any random Chaos 7 Totem is fine, however the shards are extremely important. Fortification for more health on the tree, explosive shielding guard, we just got this from Prime 2 so we might as well use it. You can use shielding guard as an alternative, that's if you don't want to upgrade this hyper shard. What both shards have in common is that they both provide a shield, that's going to help make the tree last longer. Obviously, you can find the shard in Chaos 3. And lastly we have deadly strikes to increase the tree's circle radius. The larger the circle is, the bigger the area to get healed and buffed. You don't want to use one tree build, you want to use 2 tree builds. For this second build it's basically the same, except we'll be using healthy Pylon instead of shielding guard. Now this is a hidden gem. This behaves exactly like Destructive Pylon, but instead of providing defense power, providing defense health. This is going to make every tree around this tree very tanky. You can find this shard in Chaos 6. These trees are our build 1 trees, we want them at the front line. If you feel safer with more trees, then add more. Now for our build 2 tree, we want to put it behind the front line, ideally in the middle. As long as this tree is alive, it will continuously buff all the trees around it. As you can see, once we place the tree down, the health of each tree around this tree has increased significantly. This is ideally what you want to do for each lane. Looking at the lanes, we have a lot of chaos units and a lot of melee units. We'll be using our anti-chaos and anti-melee flamethrower as always, the LSA for damage and for buffing. So normally we have mass destruction, and defense rate. Because we have a timer on our towers, we most likely won't have time to place our boost aura. So instead of destruction, we'll have Destructive Pylon instead. Yes, this is going to make our LSA weaker, however this will allow us to buff our flamethrower because it's our only tower that can wave clear. Before we start the game, I know some of you guys don't own the Dryad and that's okay. You don't need her to complete this incursion, it's going to be harder, but I'm going to show you guys that it's still possible to complete this, so I won't be using the trees. However, if you do have the Dryad, definitely use the tree strategy as it's the safest and the most reliable option. Sorry for the weird cut. The routine is Flamethrower, LSA, Flamethrower, start the wave, go to the left lane, Flamethrower, LSA, Flamethrower, go to the middle lane, Flamethrower, LSA, Flamethrower, go on top of here, Flamethrower and come back to this lane. Don't worry if you mess it up, I tend to forget myself too. It takes time to practice, but once you get the flow of it, it becomes easier. Crossfire helps a lot in this incursion. The freezing mechanic gives you enough time to place your towers down. Oh, almost messed up there. I thought I had more time to proc off Crossfire, but I didn't expect the towers to disappear so quick. This is why I recommend a fully built monk, because you can mess up, and having the power to wave clear can correct your mistakes. You want to wait for these towers to disappear first, and then you can start placing your towers down. Start the wave and yeah, continue with the routine. You may encounter small hiccups like this, which is okay, it happens. Not everyone is perfect. You can see how a fully built monk is affecting the game right now. That frostfire is holding them back, giving me enough time to place my towers down. Alright, this is an example of why we have Sparkle Party. You can see how the assassin jumped on me and then gets stunned. That's Sparkle Party, it really helps on keeping the momentum alive. I forgot to mention the Shard Taser Suit. When the enemy attacks you, you have a chance to electrocute the attacker. It's a backup when Sparkle Party is on cooldown. Again, it could potentially save your life. It's a Chaos 8 shard, so you can find it in Onslaught or buy it from the shop. You see how long this assassin's taking? It's delaying time, enough time for the enemies to run past. If I had Taser Suit, I wouldn't be in this scenario. I don't know what happened there. I thought Frostfire would have procced, but it didn't. I tried putting my defense down, but I couldn't. Either way, it worked out in the end, so it's all fine. Yeah, I definitely should have put Taser Suit on. These assassins are really annoying. Yeah, watch out for those skeleton bosses, especially if they're on the left lane where the sub-objective is. They do spawn back, which can be annoying, but just focus on finishing the routine first, then deal with him later. No! I didn't see her coming. I don't think she has time to end the game. This is a good scenario of having trees. Having a blockade of trees would have stopped the bosses from reaching the crystal and giving you enough time to spawn back. If that cannon ogre was a bit faster, it would have ended the game. You can see how staying alive is really important in this incursion. Because I died, we lost our sub-objective. When you do lose the sub-objective, don't restart. You need to adapt to a new routine. Let me show you guys. Because this lane is the shortest lane, we have to prioritize this lane first. Put your stuff down. Start the wave, go to this lane, put your stuff down. Go to the middle lane, put your stuff down. And finally go to the left lane. It was the shortest lane, but because the sub-objective is gone, it's now the longest lane. I don't have the greens anymore to show you the routine again, but you guys get the idea. Congrats on you guys on completing Power Surge and Prime 3. You are rewarded with a hyper shard called Thunderstruck. Your primary attacks has a 26% chance on hit to drench enemies for 7 seconds. And your primary attacks deal additional 40% damage as storm damage. Basically, you have the chance to steal enemies and electrocute them. Thank you guys for watching, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy this video, hit that like button and subscribe for more DD2 content. Take care guys.